There are places that call to each one of us. They are different for each of us. Some are tucked away at the end of a dirt road. Some overlook the ocean. Some are deep within a forest. Others are a quiet spot, maybe in your own backyard. They aren't always famous. They aren't always easy to find, but somehow they feel like home. When I think about the places that have always called me, the places where I go to think, to pray, or simply be, they all have one thing in common: water. For me, it's usually not a lake. It's a back road, an old bridge, a creek, after a good Oklahoma rain. I don't go looking for answers. I simply go. What is it about water that calls to us? Why is it we leave feeling different? Welcome, beautiful souls, to the Backroad Star. What if, in just a few minutes of listening, you discovered a different way to move through your life? Not by controlling every outcome, not by forcing every door to open, not by rushing from one moment to the next, but by learning to move with life instead of constantly pushing against it. Flow isn't something waiting in the future. It's something you choose, one thought, one choice, one moment at a time. What if finding your flow has less to do with changing your life and more to do with changing the way you move through it? Most of us have been taught to hurry, to multitask, to keep looking ahead towards the next ambition, toward our next goal, the next accomplishment, the next weekend, the next vacation. We become so focused on what's next that we forget to experience what's here now. Could it be that we've mistaken being busy for actually living? What if flow isn't about doing less or doing more? What if it's about being fully present with whatever you're doing? When you're having a conversation, be in the conversation. When you're eating dinner, taste your food. When you're watching the sunset, watch and absorb all of the colors in the sky. When you're laughing with someone you love, don't let tomorrow interrupt today, because this moment is where your life is happening, not yesterday. Yesterday has already written its story, not tomorrow. Tomorrow hasn't introduced itself yet. Right here, right now, this is where life is lived. Flow isn't about perfection. It isn't about getting everything right. It isn't about never having difficult days. It's about choosing again and again to return to the present moment. One thought, one choice, one moment at a time. And perhaps that's where peace has been waiting all along. Not at the end of the journey, but quietly within each step of it. But life has a way of interrupting even our best intentions. Plans change, people disappoint us. No one is perfect. Dreams take longer than we expected. Sometimes life places a rock directly in our path. Maybe the obstacle isn't the problem. Maybe our resistance to it is. Watch. Water doesn't stop because a rock appears. It doesn't demand that the river be different. It doesn't waste energy arguing with what is. It responds. Sometimes it finds another way around. Sometimes it gently moves over the top. And sometimes, with patience, it slowly reshapes the very thing that once stood in its way. Could we live a little more like that? Not by pretending life isn't hard, not by ignoring pain, not by accepting things that should be changed, but by recognizing that not everything is ours to control. Could we let go of the life we thought we would have? Could we let go of the expectation that life has to unfold exactly as we imagined? Could we stop asking, why isn't this happening faster? And begin asking, what is this moment asking of me? Because perhaps flow isn't found when everything finally goes our way. Perhaps it's found the moment we stop fighting every bend in the river. We simply move with the flow of the water. Maybe finding your flow isn't about making one big change. Maybe it's found in the small decisions you make every day. Could you wake up a little earlier so your morning begins with peace instead of rushing in panic? Could you give one task your full attention before reaching for the next? Could you finish a conversation without looking at your phone? Could you sit outside for 5 minutes and simply notice the breeze, the birds, the clouds, feeling the sunshine on your face without feeling the need to accomplish something, the need to be productive? These moments may seem small, but life is made of small moments. Flow isn't created once a year on vacation. It's created on ordinary Thursdays, washing the dishes, driving home from work, preparing dinner, sitting quietly with someone you love. It's choosing to be present instead of somewhere else. It's choosing to respond instead of reacting. It's choosing this moment instead of wishing you were living another one. Because this moment is the only one you've been promised. Be grateful that you're here for it. No one gets it perfect, and you don't have to. Flow was never about perfection. It has always been about returning again and again to the present moment. Tomorrow, you'll have another opportunity. The next conversation, the next decision, the next sunrise, the next unexpected interruption. Every moment is another invitation to take a breath and just flow. Life will continue to change. The river will continue to bend. New rocks will appear. Others will slowly disappear. You won't always choose what comes your way, but you can choose how to move through it. You can choose one thought, one choice, one moment at a time. When life changes course, perhaps instead of fighting the current, you simply take a breath and move with the flow. Maybe the place was never the destination. Maybe it was simply the invitation. An invitation to slow down, to let go, to stop rushing through your life. The places that stay with us rarely ask anything from us. They simply invite us to breathe, to be present, to remember what it feels like to simply be. And maybe that's where your flow begins. You are loved. You are safe. You are protected. You are worthy. And I believe in you. Always.